We are live. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Oh.
Live. Oh my God.
Hey, I am Marquita Waters and I solve singing problems. Gosh, I'm a vocal coach and
good
a
one.
mentor.
A good one.
And I sing too.
Really well.
This is my guest, Mr. Gregory Scott Cummins.
Yay!
Yay! Guess what we're going to do? And as we say, ha, such a day, yeah, such a mighty fine day, yeah, yeah, such a day, such a mighty fine day.
I sang.
There you did. I heard that. I heard it. He came right in and just, oh.
Yeah. I mean, you were a little better, but you know.
Well, what are you going to do when it's Mr. Good Looking?
Well, I know. Well, I thought you weren't going to say that. Well, I owe you $20 after the telecast. I'll give it to you.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Sam.
I pay people to say that for me.
What can I say? Well, Greg, alias Gregory, okay? So you are Greg to me.
Greg.
And Greg,
we've been friends for 32 years.
He just figured that out before while we were waiting,
We
okay?
were 10 when we met.
Are you sure it wasn't 5?
5.
Okay.
We were 5 when we met.
5. Well, all I can say is that Greg has been, he's been in films, TV, still is. You just finished the Bosch series, and that is, Bosch is an Amazon Prime hit.
Yes.
And it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia on TV.
Yes, I play a funny bad guy on that one. Yeah.
Yes.
Luther.
Mr. Detective.
Oh, that's Bosch.
That's Bosch. Sorry,
yeah. That's okay.
Really.
That's okay.
Yeah, I get hit.
I'm a mean-looking bad guy on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I play a detective, Crate, in the partner team of Crate and Beryl on Bosch.
Yes. And a while ago, you did Cliffhanger with Sylvester Stallone.
Yes, I did. That was a long time ago.
It's so many things. I mean, so much time has passed. But can you just tell everyone about, like, say, how you started out? What was your beginning with acting?
Wow.
I know.
Well, that's going back a long way. But, I was very shy when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And you really couldn't get 2 sentences back to back from me, except at home but in the public, I was just very shy. But the teachers were putting on a play in 7th grade. They were putting on A Christmas Carol, and they kind of threw us out there and said, okay, just go improv, just do stuff. They didn't even tell us what to do. And I just went around and I started ordering people around. I was pretending to be my dad. And I said, you stand here and you stand here and don't do this and don't do that. And and I just was ordering the whole room around. And they said, okay, you're going to play Scrooge. So I played Scrooge. And for some reason, just when I was pretending to be my dad, they saw this stuff. And so I just, it was something I did. And you're only allowed to do it like one semester in the 2-year 7th and 8th grade, but they let me be in every semester, and it was fun. Yeah, and so that's how I started.
Wow.
And
okay.
Then later on, I went to college, and for other reasons, I was playing sports, and that became my primary thing, to be a professional athlete. But
you were going to be a pro football player, right?
Spent a couple of years in and out, but then acting I took at college at Cal Berkeley and University of Hawaii for fun, just because the classes were so difficult, so I just took acting classes, and they were fun, and I just enjoyed them, and I didn't have to write all these papers. And I had a little I loved it, so it was, I always had it in the back of my mind, but my goal was to be a professional athlete. And then
was it hard to make that transition?
Well, no. When the sports didn't work out at 25 years old, then I kind of went out and did regular jobs for a while, and I didn't really know what I was going to do. And then I thought, my mom always said to me ever since I was a kid, the only thing I'd love was sports. She said, if you can do what you love and make a living at it, that you're blessed. So I just wasn't happy at all these other jobs, selling insurance or whatever. And
what were the other jobs?
Insurance, carpenter, painters, waiting on tables, you know, all that kind of stuff. But I wasn't happy. I was making a lot of money selling insurance. I wasn't happy. And then I just remembered the 6 year, I have 6 years of undergraduate school. I was on scholarship, so I played for 4 years and redshirted another year. But I went back and thought, well, if I'm going to do acting professionally, I want to get serious. So I finished my degree after the pro football thing was over, and I went and applied and got accepted the master's in acting at UCLA and also Hawaii. But I chose to go to UCLA, and I went through the 2-year master's acting program. And then I really felt after that I was prepared to go against, you know, people who were highly skilled professionally. Before that, I just did it for fun. But once I made it in my mind that I wanted to make a living at it, I went and trained more and more and more. But I did learn things from all the teachers I took throughout the years, and it really has helped me. And then I just started working in theater professionally. And then I came back to LA realizing that not being an incredible singer, if you want to do musical theater, you really have to be a great singer first. And and 3/4 of the musical theater around the country professionally is musical theater. So if I wanted to make a living, I thought the best opportunity would be go to TV and film. And so I came back to LA, and I've been working in TV and film since, 1985, 86.
Oh, wow.
But, yeah. So that's like, you know, at least 10 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Well, now we're going to hit on the emotional and the technical side of things. And from my aspect is the emotional, which is that all of the stuff that happens and you're going through, and that you're going to explain and go over for the actor or the actress, that this can affect your voice, that what can happen is as you go through these emotional things, you actually can tighten everything that happens to you, everything that you go through, it hits the voice. It does. You get sick, it hits the voice. You have an argument, it hits the voice. So I just had a singer here just the other day, and she's like, okay, she came in, her mind is like, it's you know, it's going in these many directions, and you can see it on her face. And then she's trying to sing, and the voice was like, you know, it wasn't there because she wasn't there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So now, but though with acting, though, there's also the emotional side of everything you go through, just on that level of how does the actor deal with it, knowing that your voice is going to be impacted and it's going to show it. So what I wrote down were some things there that I wanted to ask you. And so if you have loved ones that need you and you're trying to juggle a career, how does that impact you? The tension with the script and being present with things.
I'm going to jump back to what you just said before that, because it leads into what you just said there, the last question. There really is not a lot of difference between singing and acting in terms of the voice, because when I was just in real life, before I trained as an actor, before I took voice for actors, and I learned how to relax my chest and relax my throat. As an athlete, I was always breathing from here.
Now, excuse me. Let me just ask you.
Yeah.
When you did the acting classes, did they show you how to do correct breathing?
It's all part of it.
But in the beginning, they didn't, though. In the earlier classes, they didn't do it.
No, they did not.
But then you did have a great teacher that actually did.
In the master's acting program, yes. So what happened is she ended up neutralizing our bodies, teaching us how to relax. And I had never breathed from my diaphragm. I mean, I was always breathing from my chest. Even when I was running, it was chest running up and down. And then it took me 2 months to learn how to just relax my chest
and do the breathing,
breathe
the
in and
lower
out from
breathing.
the diaphragm.
Yeah, they call it diaphragmic breathing.
Yeah.
It's really abdominal and rib breathing. Those are the muscles. But I want to impact the audience because what you said is so important. In the very beginning, they didn't do it.
Yeah.
And it was because you ended up with a teacher that knew what they were doing.
Yes.
Because so many actors and actresses, I find that they don't know anything about their breathing,
Yeah.
but they haven't gotten to the master's level or the right teacher.
And
Yeah.
to add to that, in real life, you know, when you scream at the top of your lungs at a football game and you're cheering and cheering and cheering, and the next day you can't even talk. Your horse's voice's throat, and you can't talk.
Yeah.
So I did that all the time when I was younger. But when I learned in the actor training, I learned how that when you do a lot of, you can play a role where you're yelling and screaming through the whole play.
Yeah.
Or you know, whether it's a movie, a play, in theater, and you also have to project in theater. Whereas in TV and film, it's just a little more natural and a little more realistic. But you do need to project your voice out so the people in the back seats can hear you, even with a whisper.
Yeah.
But you need to do it in a way where, I mean, if I want to go, oh, but I want to talk like this, I'm in my head, and I want to talk my throat like this, and I want to talk my chest, I'm down like this. But the point is, you need to be able to relax your voice as it moves up and down the scales, and you relax your throat, relax your chest. And so you can let anger out, but at the same time, you have to be consciously aware that you have a certain relaxation you have to be going through so you don't injure yourself because you're doing it over and over again. Or in a theater, you're doing it every night, over and over again. And look at a singer, it's like, hard. You know what you do, you're singing these huge, incredible things every night. You're doing 2 shows on Saturday, 2 shows on Sunday. You need to have the voice trained, the voice supported. The voice is just like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. And it's the same way for an actor. If you haven't been speaking a lot, if you haven't been yelling a lot, you want to do vocal exercises, or you want to sing or whatever to train your voice so you can be ready to not lose your voice on set. And you can be in a character where you might get angry, you might get frustrated. So in terms of taking real life, what you said, it's the same thing that you would do if you were playing a character where you would get angry a lot and you'd be yelling a lot, and you have to do that over and over all day with 50 different takes from different angles. Is you have to be able to do it from a relaxed frame where you don't hurt yourself, so you can keep yelling all day without hurting yourself. Yeah,
and I think what you're saying also is that you've trained so much that you can relax yourself and use the technique to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So now...
So in that way, it's very similar with singing, because, you know, if you're singing wrong, you're going to hurt yourself, you're going to lose your voice.
Yeah, exactly. So now let me get back to the juggling. Okay. So they're juggling a career. Your mind has to detach and focus on the script, the part, your voice, you know, talk about that with a family and having relationships and the dedication. Just talk like we had spoken about the fact of you know, it's hard. The living there with acting, it's a hard life, and you have to have people around you that understand. You have to, they have to understand the different hours. So if you speak to that.
Well, this is the career of being an actor, or I imagine it's the same being a singer, a performer. It is not normal hours. It's not a 9-to-5 job. If you want to be home every night for your family and every weekend for your kids and have this is not the job that too many hours go into this with auditions, with working, whether it's theater or on a set, memorizing. You're working days, 16 hours, 14 hours, 18 hours a day, working nights, working graveyard shifts, back to days at the beginning of the week. Whoever's in your life, you know, has to understand that. And if you somehow are in a relationship or a family situation first, and then you decide to be an actor, well, that's something you have to go over with your family. But if you don't have that yet, and most people learn to be actors maybe before they've gotten involved in relationships or marriages or have kids, but it's just sometimes you go away 3 to 6 months. You might not be around. Maybe you bring the family out to you and visit, but it's just not a normal job. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of working days, working nights, extended hours. It's very difficult on the family relationships, and you have to have someone in your life and people in your life that understand that.
Yeah. And I think that's where the tension would come in. And somebody might be halfway in, halfway out as they go to audition, as they go to talk to producers, as they go for a part. They might be halfway in and halfway out because emotionally they're going, how am I going to deal with this? If they've got a partner that is saying, no, I need you here with me. Why are you doing this? So the arguments happening, the tension that happens.
It's difficult.
Yeah. And if it's at all possible beforehand that you have someone that you know is going to be on your side, that's important, but that isn't the case all the time.
No.
And so when you are in that situation, I think that what you had mentioned is that training, that you've got to have so much training that when you go into the scene, that you can leave that at the door. And you had mentioned using it, different situations.
Well,
because you have to be in command.
Yeah.
And a pro athlete, whoever, you're in the military.
Life throws curves at you, and you could have your parent die or a loved one die or something, that emotional stuff. But I think with the way it is with acting, it's probably very similar with singing and performing on stage as a singer. I had teachers that used to focus for me on, when you get into what you're doing, you're not thinking when you're acting, when you're doing a performance or rehearsing or whatever, you're focusing on what you're doing. You everything is pushed out of your mind other than what your character is, what you're doing, what are your objectives, what are the actions you're choosing to achieve your objectives. It's concentration. And so really you focus everything out. It's like when you're performing on stage, you're focused on what you're singing about and what you're trying to express to the audience, and and you really have to get all the, what are they thinking of me? That's got to leave your mind. What is something happening at home? My kid's sick in the hospital. You gotta shut all that out. But that comes with training. Because focusing, that focus is something you have to train to have, so you can go in and out, control it. And it doesn't mean that you can't be upset with stuff that happens in life, because life is going to throw you on a roller coaster.
You're going to be. But the amount of training and the fact that you can go into that focus is going to be the difference between you being able to be successful or not with what your art is. And some people they cannot get there. They, and there's times in your life where you're going to have to take care of the personal. And I mentioned this in another voice therapy session, that there are going to be times where you have to pause a bit, because you've got to take care of that personal thing. Someone is dying. You got to be there with them. Something happens. Yeah.
My mom had 20 years of strokes, and when it got really bad through that second half, that last 10 or 12 years, I had to take a lot of time off. I had to not go to auditions. I missed a lot of them because they were just choices I had to make. I had to do that, and I wanted to do that. Yeah. And I was happy. It was a great blessing. But that's just part of life.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the times when it's a practical situation that presents itself. And you make your decision, and you have to do that. Sometimes that personal side must take precedence over everything.
Well, sure.
And that's what you did.
Really, I mean, this is a career that we love, something we love to do. But just between you and I, there really is nothing more important than the people that we care about in life and our relationships and helping other people and being a good person in the world. There's nothing more important than that. So this is all fine and dandy to be a performer and all that. But, there's a lot of stuff that means a lot more.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why you did what you did, because that comes first. Giving and loving comes first.
But this can be a very benevolent profession. People feel good. You make people laugh. People learn things. You touch people's hearts. So
always,
and that's kind of why I like it, and the camaraderie of people you work with. It's a team. It's different than having a job where everybody's in an office. It's kind of like it's just everybody working together for a common goal and everybody supporting each other. And that's really important. That's what I find interesting too.
That's great. So now in the comments there, is there anybody that has a comment that has a question? All right. If you do have a question or you want to say hello, please do it. All right. Let me see if I've got some other things here, except the changes health. We mentioned that. So now say there's a person that, you know, they're used to doing younger situations with their acting. And all of a sudden now they are grandparents and they're starting to feel emotionally coming in that they're too old. They might not get a part. I mean, the emotional things that go on with coming from here to here in life, because there's so many transitions and changes.
You're kind of
and you've gone through them.
Yeah, you're talking about not just aging, but well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah,
but no, I'm joking. Yeah, right. That's another $20. I owe you $40.
I know.
Okay. It's not just transitioning in age, which a lot of women, well, it affects men too.
It does. It affects everybody.
But what for me, in terms of,
and this is what you do. Yes, say what you did.
In terms of transitioning, what I end up doing, an actor, it's different. When people sell a car or a house, the house is the product. So if you didn't sell it, well, you know, they didn't buy it from you. It can be very personal when you're the product. When your ability or even the way you look is what they are turning down. They're saying, we don't like the way you look for this character, or you're not good looking enough, or you're too good looking. I get that all the time. Or, you know, I don't really, I'm just joking, but I'm not joking, but I am joking. But, you know, but a lot of people get sensitive with, you know, I had friends that were maybe an attractive woman, but, you know, but not that, you know, not Sophia Loren, not Angelina Jolie,
not the,
you know, but attractive, pretty, but kind of like more the girl next door type, not your, and she wanted to keep being, you know, the
star,
you know, the beautiful, sexy ingenue, and she just wouldn't get hired, and she wouldn't make herself look more natural and less makeup and maybe a little more ratty and you get the character roles or get the whatever. And it could work the other way if you're really good looking and then you scum yourself out. I mean, I had roles when I first started where I was playing the leading man, and I was older though. I didn't start till 32, so they were casting younger people. But, you know, I didn't get offended at that. I didn't say, well, I don't look younger, so I'm hurt and I'm going to keep trying for the younger roles. That wouldn't be smart. So I just thought, well, I'm tall. I'm not getting the sidekicks roles either because I'm making people look short. So
He's 6'4". Well, okay. And I'm sitting on pillows right now in order to be a little bit taller because actually we're like this.
Well, but
you're very good. Very good.
Yes, good. Thank you.
So what did you do?
Well, so I grew my hair out and I scummed myself out with I grew the beard out and the goatee beard with the points and I kind of, you know, played the bad guys. I lowered my voice and, you know, I looked mean. I made myself look mean and intimidating. And then all of a sudden, boom, I got hired. Boom, I got every audition. I'd get like 3 out of every 4 auditions. Bad guy, bad guy, bad guy. I just worked like crazy. And so I let people get to know me that way. And then that's how I started working a lot more and moving up in that way. And it worked for me because I was tall. So it's okay for the bad guy to be taller when, if I wanted to be a sidekick or something like that, you know, they don't want the sidekicks to make the star look short sometimes. And, but then, you know, everybody's got different physical characteristics. Everybody's got different acting abilities, emotional abilities. So you have to fit yourself into where you fit, both physically and emotionally for roles and characters. You have to determine, you know, where you're going to fit. You work with your agent, you figure out which are the types of roles they're going to see me as, and you try to get really good at that. And that's where training it comes in.
And I think it's very hard. I think some people resist so much the changes, or resist the practicality of exactly who and what they are, and instead of going with the flow, instead of accepting, and instead of changing like you did. That's the great thing that Greg did. He saw the practicality of it. He saw the fact that wait a second, this is not going to work. And he was intelligent enough and pulled back the emotional thing and said, wait a second, this would work, and then worked it for himself, and he won.
The goal was to work.
Yeah.
And my ego, if it got in the way and I was afraid, I didn't want to look like that, I wouldn't have gotten. Every time I did shave my hair, face, and cut my hair short, and I'd go for those bad guy roles, I wouldn't get them.
Yeah.
Because they wanted somebody looking mean. So, but I had to look that way in real life. And it was hard for my personal life sometimes, because I would scare people on elevators and things like that. People would just like walk in and then turn around and walk away.
Yeah. 6'4", and he's like looking like he's going to kill.
That's what I needed to do. And
and that is the great thing. And I want to say hello to, is it Dana? There we go. I've been meaning to say something about. You say hi.
Hi, Dana. Baby. Hi, Dana.
She's right up there.
Oh, that's so cool. I need my glasses to see that.
Yeah, something about the makeup.
Oh, the makeup. Oh, okay. Well, let's see.
And then there's another person that wanted to know. Okay, hey, there she is. Good for you. How do you handle dry spells in acting? No auditions, no bookings. So dry spells, and then the makeup.
Okay. Well, okay. I'll do the makeup first, because she asked it first, or did she ask dry spell first?
Do the makeup.
Okay, makeup. When the lights are really strong on you, especially on stage, but they're also on TV and film. They use lights. They kind of blank your face, or they white your face off, so they kind of take away all the lines. Or sometimes you want to put the lines in. You just like a woman would do her makeup with the rouge here and a little highlight here to bring out the cheekbones and all that. You kind of do that for stage too, because the lights just whiten you. And some films and TV shows are more natural light, but in theater, the lights are very strong. So you need to put the makeup on when you work, and it just becomes something you regularly have to do. It's part of the business. It's you learn to do your own in theater, but in TV and film, luckily they have people to do it for you, which makes it a lot easier.
There you go.
So the other question was dry spells. Oh yeah. Well, you can cry a lot, or you can try to keep busy. And I used to have you want to enjoy your life, but you want to stay active. You want to keep involved. You want to keep auditioning, keeping available. But sometimes if the auditions are coming in, or there's a slow period, you keep yourself in shape. That's what I do. I work out regularly. I keep my instrument as my body. My body has to be in decent shape. And sometimes if it gets out of shape, I got to get back into shape. And your voice, you got to keep. I keep my mouth working. I do a lot of reading, not reading with the mind. I read out loud. I'll just read things, and I'll just read it out loud to keep the mouth working and to keep myself sharp. So when I do get jobs, I haven't just not spoken in 3 months and not been verbalizing anything. And I'll sing songs to myself to keep my voice, active and all that. But in terms of handling it, that's the problem of being an actor, is there is irregular income. And, unless you become a really big star and a name and you make, millions and millions of dollars, and you can really choose whatever you want to do, you're going to be struggling on and off through the years. And I call myself a blue collar actor. I've made a living for these years. I'm not a big star. I'm not rich, but there are slow periods, and you just have to expect that, and you have to have faith. You just have a positive attitude. You can't get down on yourself. Attitude. Well, it's kind of like when sports, you lose a couple games in a row. You can't go into a game thinking, well, you don't go into the next audition. I'm probably not going to get it. I'm probably going to lose the game. We're probably going to lose, but I'll play the game anyway.
That's the worst.
Yeah, well, you go in thinking you're going to win every game. And in fact, you work harder when you lose games, so you can come back and win the next game. And if you lose the next game, you come back and work harder to win the next game. And you relax and you have confidence. That's just the way it is with acting. And you're going out, you're doing auditions, and you're convincing people that I'm the person for this role. And you're not going to get it all the time, but you
No.
can't expect to.
No, and also in the dry periods, you've got to have other things in your life that hold you together, because it's about body, mind, and spirit. So if you are having a dry spell, and everybody has them in their careers, in things that they do, there's in the arts, okay, and you must have yourself so together, and you must know yourself. So when there's dry periods, what else do you have in your life that is important? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And if it's a dry spell, then you have, okay, that's family time, or that's this other thing that I can do this in a more regular way. But also what Greg had said, which is so important, that I think in dry spells, I think a lot of times people feel that that's a time to relax on their art. And you've got to keep your chops up, like Greg has mentioned. You've got to keep them going, so you can't let them go. So like what I do on my way to the gym, I'm vocalizing, so I don't let it go, because I did for a long period of time. I'm that quiet person, that hides also. It seems that there's a lot of people in the arts, it seems, that are not really extroverts.
Yeah.
We're more introverts, actually. But then you get on stage and it's like,
we learn to,
exactly. Yeah. And that's where we thrive. So when it's a dry spell, have things that you love to do other than just your art. And your art will always be there, and you always got to keep that in there. Yeah. So.
Well said.
Thank you, darling.
Well said. You
darling.
should do this. You should make money at this.
You think so?
You should do this for a living. Yeah.
Oh.
You should should teach people. Oh, that's what we're doing. Oh.
And the cat is going nuts. I don't know whether you can hear it, but that's Rocky Balboa over there, okay? Dun, 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 dun. All right, so what else did I have on my plate here? Encouragements to actors to work their emotions because of it. I think we're there. The high energy scene. Okay, so 3 ways to prepare your voice for them. Or do you think about your voice? High energy scene.
Well, yeah, we kind of covered that before in terms of relaxation.
Okay.
Because if you're going to have a high energy scene, whether you repeat it every night or performing Hamlet, there's a lot of talking, there's a lot of energy, there's fight scenes, whatever. Or if you're doing scenes on a set, you could be doing one scene through the whole course of the day, shooting different angles. And it might be a scene where you're angry and you're yelling and you're screaming. So again, you have to learn how to, it's not hard to get the energy level up if you're playing a character and you know what you're doing and you're concentrating on your motivations and your objectives. But in terms of vocally, you have to be aware to relax the throat and let the voice come through it, and not be doing everything like this in the throat. Because when you start yelling and you start going like this, it starts sounding, and you throw everything out. So you have to relax it. And you can go up on the scale and you go up high like that and get into your voice. I could be really yelling, but my throat is really relaxed. I'm not going to yell really loud to bother you, but my throat is really relaxed and my chest is relaxed. But I could be really angry and my arms could be upset, but I let it come out. And so I don't hurt my voice.
And that's the control. I think that's the big deal, is the control, because of the training. So, if you'll notice that we've emphasized training.
Yeah. No, it's.
There
absolutely.
You go. So on the technical side, and I think we've covered this, your voice carries the emotions. And, depending upon your upbringing, you can either do that tension in your voice, or you can be so subdued that you don't know how to throw. You don't know how to open your voice. You don't know how to get loud. So you've got to be aware that, that your training has to help you. But it's not only your training, it's you accepting, knowing the fact that you have this and breaking through, being willing to break through whatever that impasse is. Okay. And then let me see, through the stress, life, learn, practicing. Oh, yeah. So the stresses of life, and we've talked about that. There's different stresses that happen, and you have to handle it, not let it handle you.
Yeah.
That's the big deal. You're handling it. It is not handling you. You have to be in charge in everything in life, because life will throw you around. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
don't stop. Keep your skills active. There's so much that happens with a life. It comes in and steals,
Mm-hmm.
and you will regret the fact that you let things go.
And to
Yeah.
add to that,
Mhm.
in terms of focusing on, if you want to do just things for fun and you want to sing for fun and you want to do acting for fun or civic theater and things like that,
Mhm.
that's great. And it's wonderful. You do, if you want to be a professional
Yep.
and you want to do this for a living, you've got to treat it with a passion and a love that you just have to do it.
Mhm.
I mean, it's got to be so deep inside you that you
Yes.
can hear 1,000 no's and you still say, I'm not going to listen to those no's. I'm going to do it.
Mhm.
And in
Mhm.
terms of, you were just saying about the,
The stresses of life.
yes, in terms of, oh God, where was I? I just jumped to the,
Well, to tag on to what you were saying.
oh, the professional. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
But you've got to treat it like a business. You have to,
Mm.
you have to be serious about it. You have to be
Mm-hmm.
on time. I've been doing this 37 years professionally. My dad told me never be late if you're going to be
Yeah.
professional.
Yeah.
I've been late to 2 sets in 37 years for 10 minutes, 2
Mhm.
times. And that's it, because I figure out how much time it's going to take to get there and I give it an extra hour. So if my car breaks down and you have bad traffic, I can call the tow truck, I can call a cab, and I can still get to the set on time.
Mhm.
So it's being professional. It's also being professional in terms of your work ethic, your business
Mhm.
ethic, taking care of your business, doing your work, memorizing, doing your vocal work, doing your memorizing work, doing
Mhm.
everything that you need to do to be successful. You cannot be lazy. In
Yeah.
fact, that was one
Mhm.
of the things that my teacher in graduate school really hit. She said actors are innately lazy, and singers too. A lot of times we wait till the
Yes,
last
they think they
minute.
don't need.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, because
And
I have a voice, so I don't need. Yeah. Mhm.
I've got to say that I think being a professional in the entertainment industry is a third talent, a third just fortitude and
Yes.
and business acumen, where you treat it like your life depends on it, that you are going to take care of everything you need to take care of.
Yeah.
And the last third is you got to be somebody that's a decent person that people want to work with. I
Yeah.
mean, if you're a jerk, good luck. I mean,
Yeah.
most of the people I work with are nice people. I mean, it really is, because a lot of those jerks get weeded out. But you have to have the fortitude.
Yeah, it's the why. Your why
Yeah.
must be strong enough
Yes.
for what you want to do, and then you will force changes. You will work at the changes. If you're a late person, you will not do that. In audition, you do not come late. I have my students. That's
Good
just, they
point.
know it's like, do not come late, honey. And I'm sitting here, I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Because that's honoring them.
Well,
And you're honoring the situation by being on time. It shows everybody that you honor it, that you respect the talent, that you respect the industry, that you respect what you have in your hand, the fact that you are going to an audition and you actually have one. When
the curtain rises at 8 p.m., it's going to rise at 8 p.m.
That's
and if
right.
you're late, that audience is going to get real mad. If you're on a TV set and you got a million, you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars every hour with a whole crew of 150 people waiting for you and all the other actors, and you make everybody wait because you're late. Believe me, you do not want that to happen. And it has to do with auditions and getting cast. If you show up to an audition late, that cast director is just never going to have you back again, because you cannot be, if you're late to an audition, she's going to think you're going to be late to work.
That's
right.
You
have to be a professional. You have to treat it seriously.
Yeah.
And whether it's the training, or it's the vocal work, the physical body work, whether it's the business, it's all tied in.
Okay, so we've said study, take lessons, practice your butt off. And it's about, I wrote it down here. It came to me today. It was dedication and direction. So your dedication has to be there, but you also have to have direction. And that's what Greg had said, that he changed his direction because he knew that was going to be the right thing for him to do. That was going to make it happen for him. He could not get hung up with emotions. Well, I can't do that, or why aren't I getting this? And I want to do this part.
Don't let your ego get in the way.
Ego. Oh my gosh. Ego.
Mhm.
Go, ego.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think we have any other questions. If there's any other questions, please let us know now. And I just want to tell you that to a summation here, I want to thank you first.
Oh, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so grateful that you did this.
I've been watching you for a long time doing this, and I'm just excited to be here. You're so talented. Believe me, if you need training as a singer or an actor, this is the person you want to go to. She is wonderful.
Oh, thank you, Greg.
An incredibly talented singer as well.
Now I owe him money.
But she is a great teacher of the voice. I'm telling you. So.
And I love doing it. You know, I love singing and I love teaching.
Yeah.
That's just it. You know, and she knows over there, that one.
Oh.
We're doing the mic thing here.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What was I going to say? That I really am thinking of doing a course, a literal course, or a membership for voice, for therapy, for helping people that are having problems with their voice, because that's what these 4, now 5, because Greg offered to come on. He offered. I didn't even have to ask him. He just said, "Oh, I do it," and that was great. I mean, I didn't want to bother you, and he was
I can't
so
believe
wonderful.
you haven't asked before, or we didn't even think about it.
I know.
I didn't know you were interested.
Yeah, I really didn't want to bother you. And then he offered, and it was a great thing. So we've done these 5. We're touching the surface of people having things affect their voice, which is voice therapy, which is the worst thing, which is having nodes, which are benign tumors on the free edges of the vocal folds, which are right here in back of the thyroid cartilage. And that's where all sound comes from for everything, speakers, actors. This is where the sound comes from. Or if you are starting to have nodes, or you have lost your voice, or you're hoarse, or you're getting tired and you realize it's happening all the time. So these are things that tell you you're going to go down that path if you don't take care of it. So that's my specialty that I'd love to help you with, but I got to know you want it. So I'm going to put my I got to get my my little thing out here. Look at this. There she is, MarquitaWaters.com. So go to MarquitaWaters.com and let me know if you'd like to have a membership, you'd like to have a course from me, because I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to ask you, do you want it? Okay. And I might do it anyway. Okay. But I really love feedback from people. Or if you have problems, you want to let me know, please let me know. Okay.
If you want to improve your singing. Singing is such a
just speakers too.
Speaker too.
Yeah.
But singing is such a wonderful thing to do. Yeah, okay. And everybody's so shy about doing it in public and stuff. Even if you're not a professional, if you want to sing better.
Thank you.
I mean, it really, it's
I owe him the $40 now. We're even.
Okay.
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 Well, guys, it has come to that time to tell you to love what you do and do what you love. Yes. Okay. So, Greg, we're going to say goodbye.
No, I don't want to go.
Well, you're going to have to.
Okay.
All right, baby. Bye.
Bye.
We'll see ya. Love you so much. Okay, bye. I got to click this here. Okay, here we go. There you go. We're still